In this video, we will be exploring all of the unused content in PvZ Heroes, including unused cards, unused animations, and much more. Let's get right into it. Before diving into the game files, I decided to rewatch the PvZ Heroes animated trailer, released way back in 2017, to see if I could find anything that went unused. The first half of the trailer actually appears very similar to the final game, and it isn't until Citron's scene that we notice something strange. If you look closely, you will notice that Citron shoots down what looks like a parrot pal from Garden Warfare 2. However, this character is nowhere to be seen in the game other than on Captain Deadbeard's card. It was likely scrapped very early in development. The other interesting detail I found is seen when the smash comes. If you pause the video, you will see Scaredy Shroom, a plant which appears in almost every other PvZ game. It did not, however, appear in PvZ Heroes, despite being in the trailer. This suggests that it may have been a card in PvZ Heroes, though this is just an idea. Finally, Wall Knight has no eyebrows throughout the trailer. This is likely just an earlier design. For part 2, we'll be looking at both unused cards and unused card designs in PvZ Heroes. For starters, if you didn't know, there were originally going to be so-called neutral superpowers in the game. The cards are shown on screen. These cards were very weak and were eventually reworked into other cards, like Vegetation, Mutation, and Knockout. Next, if we visit the game files, we can find even more scrap cards such as Skydiver Training, Hypnotize, Rubo's Master, Zombie Mob, and a mysterious card called No Brainer. Why these cards didn't make it into their game remains unclear. Additionally, there was going to be a card called Terraform, which was likely just an earlier version of Huge Giganticus's superpower. For the unused card designs, we can actually see a bunch of them in-game just by looking at the cards themselves. First off, Prickly Pear is facing left on her card while she actually faces right in-game. Next to her, Tough Beats has a toothpick in his mouth on his card, though he does not actually have one in-game. Bean Counter appears much darker on his card than he actually is in-game. For the zombies, we can find a few more. First, Nibble has a twisty thing on his card, though it is absent in-game. One of my favorites, though, is Imp throwing Gargantuar's card. If you look closely, you will notice that the imp on the Gargantuar's back is just a regular imp, not a swabby like we see in-game. Dr. Spacetime has glasses on his card, though he does not have them in-game. Finally, if you are ever unlucky enough to see Octopet's card, you will notice that its eyes are much different from what they look like in-game. For part 3, I will be showing you some unused animations that you may or may not have seen. For the final part of the video, I will be revealing more unused content in PvZ Heroes. First, if you search up True Strike in your collection, all the Bullseye cards will appear. If you search up Springboard in your collection, all the Fusion cards will appear. And if you search up Aquatic, all of the Amphibious cards will appear. This is actually because True Strike, Springboard, and Aquatic were earlier names for these traits, but they were changed at some point in development. Next, when you unlock Spuddo, you get to see this comic strip. If you look in the top right corner, you can see Poncho Zombie and Mech Gargantuar, two cards that never actually made it in-game. Their appearance here suggests that they were also going to become cards but were scrapped quite early. Finally, here's a picture from before the game's release. As you can notice, everything is very different from the game we know. Aside from that, we can also see a strange 3-cost card in the bottom left that did not make it to the final game. And that is going to be it for this video. I truly hope you all learned something new about the unused content in PvZ Heroes. If you do want to see more unused content in PvZ Heroes or another game, be sure to like the video and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.